D.A.D. 412 out here around the Great Lakes there. Good morning. How you doing?
Yeah, is that the same 412 I talked to the last time up around Chicago?
Okay, yeah, it's Operator Scott, Sierra Charlie Oscar Tango Tango. You want to go up to 395?
QSL.
4730, Roger, Arkansas. We're standing by.
Yeah, CQ.
412, 33.
Yeah, 33. What's the personal?
Yeah, it's Rick, Romeo India Charlie Kilo. Aren't you the one I talked to up there by Chicago?
Well, I'm trying to think, Rick. I haven't worked Utah too often. It's been only a couple of times. It may, your voice does sound familiar. What did we discuss?
Yeah, I thought you said what I said, Western Arkansas.
Oh, I'm sorry. You're in Western Arkansas. Yeah, we have talked.
Yeah, you were talking to Kevin. I haven't been able to talk to him direct yet. Just I heard him on the backscatter with Ray and all them, but we were testing that vertical and that horizontal.
Yeah, and I don't know how long we talked. I've got a short clip of that there. Do you have email?
No, that was only about 2 minutes. It was kind of like today where it was kind of up and down. But yeah, you were testing out some, I think it was like a 1-element or 2-element flat side or something, I forget.
Yeah, it's the double spooky bazooka. I call it the double spooky bazooka. It's a half wave dipole. It gives you about 3.5 dB gain. This thing does. It was working real well there, Roger.
Yeah, the double bazooka. I remember now. Sounds like you've got the mic a little hotter than you had it the other day, though.
Yeah, I've noticed that. This battery seems to really want to talk today. Let me back this thing down. How's that? Any better?
Oh yeah, like night and day. I can't tell you how many people you hear out there that run over modulation.
Yeah, well, that's one nice thing, Rick, about the 2510. It's kind of hard to overmodulate it. You might get loud, but not overmodulated. Yeah, real good. Yeah, so you don't have email. That's correct, right?
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah, let's check it out again if you got a moment. I'm on the double spooky. Okay, antenna 2, 1313. And now I'm over on the IMAX. It's at 55 feet, 1313. And the spooky's at 28 feet. Over.
Yeah, do it again. Like, say this is 1 and this is 2.
Gotcha. Okay, Rick. This is right now number 2. And this is number 4.
Yeah, number 4 is beating it. Do it 2 or 3 times in a row so I can make sure it's not wave. So this is 1, this is 2, this is 1, this is 2.
Yeah. Propagation's good, especially earlier in the day. Yeah, the vertical will outbeat the horizontal mode. Right now I'm working, Rick, on a 2-element design. Hope to have it up here today. Maybe you'll be out there. We can give you a shout on the 2-element vertical version of it there, Roger.
No, I'm on the super scanner, the vertical beam that's not like any other beam ever made, but you know, a lot of people say the verticals will hear the verticals better and the flats will hear the flats better, but I'm not so sure if that always plays on the propagation side. You know, once it bounces off the ionosphere, you never know which way it's going to come back.
Yeah, well, you're correct. Absolutely, it changes. Sometimes the horizontal, in fact, most of the time, I'd say at least 75% of the time on DX, the flat side will receive better than the vertical. And which is kind of nice sometimes because you can keep a QSO going a lot longer, Rick. So it's a nice secondary antenna for some, like your case probably would be with the 2-element that you're running now. That's a good, yeah, that's what I'm going to make, something very similar to that, but it'll be a 2-element version without a relay switch there, Roger?
Yeah, I guess you're familiar with the super scanner.
Roger that, Rick. Yeah, that I just wanted to say that 60 watts is doing you really, really good. I'm running about 140, maybe 140 whiskeys the way it's swinging today. Must have some good ComEd coming into the house. But yeah, I like that antenna, and I don't know. Maybe I'll do something like a 4-element version, you know, because I could drop the driven in the center and just add three wire reflectors, or maybe even a director there, Roger.
Yeah, I don't know. The big thing now is the loops. They're real gigantic. They're real big now. They work real well. A lot of, and then the, what do they call them? I can't remember the name. The squares,
Frequencies in use, thank you.
the square antennas, instead of using elements, they just use wire and make it into a box form and then put it in a diamond shape.
Yeah, I've built one of those too. I've got I call it the dream catcher. You can see it. If you had internet, I'd say go to the YouTube. You can see it. It's a dream catcher. Yeah, I had a lot of fun, Rick, with the full wave. And yeah, I'll be going back to that. Don't worry. I love it, but it takes up a lot of real estate. I do recognize the other station on the side there. Thank you for standing by. And Rick, right now, you jumped up on my flat side to about a 5 almost, whereas I had maybe a 1 on you on the IMAX. So real quick, I'm going to switch over to the IMAX and see if that still pertained to earlier. This is antenna 4, and this is antenna 2. Antenna 2, over.
Yeah, night and day right now. It's blowing it out of the water. The last one you were on. The IMAX, I believe, is the one you switched to, and it went way down, and then it came way back up when you switched back again. And so, like I say, it comes in waves, but when it's weaker, you'll notice it. If you'll notice when the signals are real huge, you're not going to see a whole lot of difference on what people tell you. But when they're weaker, one might play better than the other, depending on the propagation and the wave itself. Like right now, that one performed way better. In 10 minutes, it may switch over the other way, just the way it's bouncing. Yeah, like it is right now, Rick. You started to fade out at the end, so I'm just automatically going to switch over to the IMAX there. Yeah, isn't that interesting? Yeah, I think we're losing our window. That's what I'm saying. When it dies out, you'll be surprised. There'll be differences when it dies. But when it's real hot, you're not going to see a lot. Yeah, the sporadic E is starting to fade out here, following the gray line probably here. But yeah, interesting, man. Isn't that interesting? I mean, it makes you want to definitely, I would think, most of these guys would pick up my double spooky bazooka. You know, it's half the price of an IMAX, and then just get a little $15 switch, an antenna switch, and they got a secondary antenna that will keep them in the game much, much longer, and they'd be surprised how much better they get out. Most times my double spooky's beating the IMAX out, and I've done tests even on vertical, even with field strength, and it's beat it out. It's beat out the IMAX, and where it was maybe 4 feet off the ground when I had the IMAX at 55. So, and I'm talking about, you know, field strength with stations 6 and 30 miles out. So yeah, it's a real nice nice second antenna to have, and it's very deployable. I mean, if a hurricane or a tornado comes, takes out your antenna, at least you got something you can swing up on a tree and or even almost lay on the ground. It works great horizontal at about 11 feet, I found. It was invented by MIT back during World War II. It was designed for radar use there, Roger. That's another thing too. Is, I've had 2 or 3 people figure.
Yeah, please stand by. Western Arkansas 473, frequencies in use.
But yeah, over the other I've seen it happen. Some people that I know actually found it out that the hotter it gets, a lot of times like that.
Yeah, please stand by. Thank you.
5, it's not going to work as good as if you had the same exact antenna down at 15 foot. depending on the wave sometimes when it gets real hot, we'll actually perform better at a lower height, which is really